It's insane that this was just revealed in One Piece, and I can't just help but think of Naruto and everything that it could reveal later on and what the series could become. But yeah, if you haven't caught on yet from the title and the thumbnail, I will have both Naruto and One Piece spoilers in this video. For those of you who don't care about One Piece, it's cool for you. Those who don't care about Naruto, cool for you. Those who care about both, you probably just want to have finished the Naruto series and be at this point that I'll put in the description in One Piece, whether it's episodes or manga, whatever. But now that you had your chance, I'm just talking about the Seraphim, right? The Seraphim, the concept of them is insane. For those of you who don't know, the Seraphim are these synthetic androids that have been made, kind of as robots, but using human DNA of some of the popular strong characters in One Piece and some of these strong races in One Piece. So, there's so much that could come of this because now, if all it takes is just some DNA to make these super strong synthetic androids, then it could be made of anyone as long as the scientists have this DNA. Right? And now makes this question, who else do they have DNA from who they could use in the future? Now, tangenting a bit to Naruto and why, it's very interesting to think about it in Naruto terms is because in Naruto we have the Edo Tensei revival jutsu, whatever you want to call it, that's been talked about and memed out of so much, but nonetheless is very important, in the Naruto story, Naruto verse, and I kind of think that this is the One Piece equivalent, right? Because for the longest time, it seemed like the series was building up to this big clash between, what will ultimately be the side of good versus the side of evil, as is with most stories, right? All the themes come together, all the strength come together. This is what the whole journey has been towards. But it kind of seemed in One Piece that the bad guys were just so outnumbered by the good guys. You had maybe like the admirals as really strong enemies. The Gorosei are kind of old men. It's unclear how strong they are, if they can fight at all. And, you had everyone on the Straw Hat Pirates, all Luffy's allies, the Grand Fleet, the kingdoms that have allied with him, the revolutionaries. The list goes on and on and on as to how many people would fight against the world government. I mean, unless they teamed up with Blackbeard, but even that would be crazy. Blackbeard is probably more likely to team up with Luffy than he is with the world government. So it's you wondered. But coming to think about it and the similarities, this was a similar situation that we had at the end of Naruto, where you had Madara and the self-proclaimed Madara versus essentially the whole Shinobi Alliance. How would they get out of this? How would they win? They are strong, definitely, but we had too many strong guys who were just as strong, speculated to be even stronger on the good guy side, just like One Piece right now. But then they changed the tables around by by reusing the revival jutsu, the Edo Tensei. And they resurrected some of the past Hokages and popular figures to fight for the bad guys. And that is what I think is essentially the same idea here. Instead of having an entire army with many weak people, we have a kind of revival of old characters, established characters whose strength is renowned and everyone fears through the world, and then put them on the bad guy's side. And that's the same thing that could happen here. And maybe this is the point of having such strong and established characters. The fact that, now that they've been strong and established and maybe they didn't get enough time to shine, they will get enough time to shine in the final war, right? By taking all the characters who we've put on a pedestal, people from the old generation, people who led the One Piece world with an iron fist, people, from the Beast Pirate, Big Mom, right? We don't know if they're dead, but if they are, they could come back in the series, right? Imagine this version of Kaido right here. Or imagine if we bring back Ace and then you have Luffy and Sabo versus Ace like this, right? It's insane to think about, right? And some of them, it's not that crazy. I think the hardest one that I had trouble figuring out was probably someone like Rox and Whitebeard. At what point would the government get their DNA? If we wanted to say Ace, he was in prison for a while before they executed him. Same with his father Roger. Big Mom spent some time with Marikama, who had, connections to the world government. Kaido was a lab experiment with Vegapunk on Punk Hazard. I think it's Punk Hazard? No, it might have been a different place. But he was a lab experiment for a while. People like King as well. But even the admirals themselves, people who are legends in the One Piece who existed in past times. All the other warlords, there's so many examples of people who can take who are really strong figures, because between the emperors and, past pirate kings and the actual warlords themselves, all of these pirates have been talked up so much, but we haven't had much time to fully see them in action. And this could be that time. Imagine now you have, people like Kid's crew who want to be a Yonko crew finally take the chance to fight an actual Yonko. What if they give them, like, I don't know, Roger, the Pirate King, right? You have this version of Roger versus the Kid Pirates, and he finally gets that chance to see if he has what it takes in the final war, right? So having these strong characters is very interesting. And just to note, it's not only One Piece and Naruto that do this. I think the method of doing it is the same, the possibility of bringing back dead characters or characters who we think are dead. But I think the thing is that a lot of series do this. I think even in Bleach, we're getting into the final, getting animation of the finals arc, Saga's arc. It's a very long arc, but last arc of Bleach. And, spoiler alert, we have like another strong group of people, but these ones were not dead. They're not dead, but the idea is the same. You have like an elite, strong, I guess, smaller group of characters who come in some of the last arcs of a lot of series as this kind of like vanguard force, this elite fighting force who are going to fight the good guys. Very rarely on the bad guy side do we just have a whole bunch of riffraff. Bunch of riffraff is for the good guy side. That just tends to be the way that it is in a lot of anime. So I think this is very interesting, and I'd like to see where this goes, because the possibilities of who could come back, who the world government would have, are very interesting. But nonetheless, maybe there is some word of caution, because the way the Revival Jutsu worked with Naruto was not completely perfect from what I remember. So maybe we could sidestep some of these issues and maybe, have a better version, Oda learned from what Kishimoto did version, and make it a nicer and a more enjoyable experience. But tell me what you think, because I don't know how crazy to get with this. Because if we wanted to, we could have, instead of just one quality Roger, we could have 10. What's stopping us from having infinite numbers of the same person? Is it the DNA sample? Or is it something else, right? Is it just the other resources you need, or that, there won't be enough time to make them? But it's interesting because it seems that it should be infinitely possible, and as long as there's been a chance where they've been in contact with our government, they should be able to have gotten their DNA depending on how long they've had this plan in the pipeline for. So, let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel about the comparison with Naruto. Do you think it's going to be handled in the exact same way as the Naruto one was? Or do you think it's going to be handled slightly differently? Also, let me know what you think about these versions of these strong characters. And, will they show up like that? Or, do you expect them to just be dead and gone and we'll never see them again? But all that down in the description below. As always, like the video if you like the video, subscribe for more content like this. And if you know someone who watches Naruto, watches One Piece, and needs to know about this, let them know about this video. Share it with them. As always, guys, thank you for watching. If you have time, watch one more video. If not, thank you for watching the video to the end. This is King KZ. I'll see you in the next one.